Okay, I'm gonna be switching over to photos and voiceover, but we are physically here at the Walt Disney Family Museum in San Francisco. Are you ready?
I'm really excited. I don't think I ever thought we would get to see this.
Me
but
either.
Yeah, here we are.
And I am wearing a Disney shirt, Halloween Town, because it's cool here in San Francisco. Let's visit the Walt Disney Family Museum now. Let's take a closer look. Actually, they're letting me film. They said as long as I film just the exhibit, we're good. Okay, you know how audio things are. I'm gonna have to do this as a voiceover, even though it's a video. The first thing we are seeing is right inside of Walt's apartment at Disneyland. There's Walt on the phone. Pay attention to some of the furniture, because here in just a second, see, I'm pointing out the furniture right there, and it's talking about the significance of this furniture. If you didn't know, this furniture is at Disneyland right there, right above the fire department. And look, there's the furniture. We got to see some real furniture from Walt's apartment at Disneyland, which is always just an amazing thing that you see at Disneyland. If you know, you know, kind of thing. They always leave the light on because it lets the cast members know that, you know, back in the day, Walt was in the park, and now Walt is forever in the park. I've always loved this. This is the one that he received for Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And there's a picture of Shirley Temple and Walt that there you see it. I love that. That's such an iconic, like, Hollywood and Disney moment to me. There's Walt as a baby, and this whole room, this first room, is kind of themed to So Dear to My Heart. It's all about his family and upbringing. Here's some original early sketches, well, they're copies, early sketches from Disney. You can see Walt had like a weird sense of humor. He had to find his style, and there's Walt and his brother Roy. Some more early sketches, some cartoons from Walt. I love stuff like this. This is the kind of stuff he drew in the war, you know, when he was doodling and on his little sketch pad and whatnot. These are some amazing early photographs of Walt when he was making some films, and the camera that they're actually using in this, they have it right here. This is the Universal camera, and I'm going to show you a photograph of Walt and his friend here. There it is. This camera cost him $300. There's Walt with the camera, and there it is. I love stuff like this. Just like One Man's Dream, just a little better because it's all about Walt. Now, Abby and I had to take this elevator. We weren't sure where it was going to take us, but it takes you to other parts of the museum. But before we did that, we had to come over and see this, the Walt Disney Cartoonist. It's a copy, but Kansas City, Missouri also had to see the clip of Gertie the dinosaur, the first animated dinosaur. If you visit Disney's Hollywood Studios, you will see Gertie. Let's see. There we go. Inside the elevator. Oh, look. All right. Going up. Does this work? No, it's just for decoration.
The day I got on that California benefit, just free and happy, you know.
It's like we're on the train.
1923.
We're on the train right now. That's what it is.
Santa Fe.
The Santa Fe, yeah, that makes sense. Oh my gosh.
Now we're home.
Now we're in Hollywood, baby. Wow, look at the different letters. This is a pretty cool exhibit. Oh my gosh. Get out of town. Alice. The first Alice. Little Alice comedies. Look how many they had. It's crazy. Alice in the Jungle. Oh yeah, the Spooky Adventure. This is a One Man's Dream. I love the little ghost guys and the cat. And look at this. Some early cameras. Walt and his crew just getting together and making some films. That just sounds like so much fun, right? They didn't know what the heck they were doing, but they just wanted to make something. I think that's why I'm kind of influenced to do exactly what I'm doing right now. You know? Just kind of present something my way. Look at this, Walt's family movies right here. This is
cool.
it.
This is so cool.
All of Steamboat Willie. This is what they would stand in front of. And Walt would be just like pointing it out and imitating like what the sounds were gonna be and everything, you know? So cool. And this is all Steamboat Willie. Oh my gosh, these are even animated. Look at this. So good. Oh, we have so much to take in. Okay, let's start here. Oswald, Mickey, at the Walt Disney Studio. I love how some of these are moving. This is a lot of Lillian and her family. Is this their bear's license? Right here? Let's see. Yep, Walter E. Disney and Lillian M. Bounds, Los Angeles, Hollywood, California. 13th of July, 1925. They got married. There they are. Oswald. The Lucky Rabbit. Oh, wow. Gift of Diane and Ryan. Gift of Diane and Ron Miller. This is a real rough animation sketch. Look at that. That's insane. Oh, get out of here. See, One Man's Dream, we have just a taste of this. This is the earliest known drawing of Mickey and Minnie Mouse. Right here, in front of me. Well, in front of us. Look at that. That's insane. Do you know what you're looking at, Abby? That's the earliest known sketch of Mickey and Minnie.
Isn't that crazy?
That's it right there. Wow. See, I love stuff like this. Look at that. Mickey Mouse Club.
They could follow those beats, and when it came to a certain number of beats, they would go ah, or they would go bang.
Oh, that's so cool. The Mickey Mouse magazine with the wolf and the pumpkin. Mickey's. These are all real. Real old merchandise here. Old Mickey watches. Even a camera and a record player. Bicycle. I guess I'm doing this right. These are some original paint from the Ink and Paint Club at the Disney Animation Studios. In fact, we see one that says Donald right there. There's Donald's set, all the different yellows for Donald. And then these are a lot of different sketches and cells and backgrounds from different animation films. And what I love about this is it's not only like sketches and stuff, but there's storyboard drawings, there's cells. So that's a cell right there. You would place that over a background. There's like 3D models that the animators would make and look at. So when they were animating stuff, they knew exactly what Pluto looked like all around. There's a cell from Donald, and you would lay that cell over the background and they would stamp it, and then they would continue the process. And that's how Disney did their animation back in the day. And they even did it, you know, later on. I mean, like, you know, Disney used this technique for so long, and so many other people did as well. Inside here, along with the sketches, there are like original posters and stuff. This, what we're looking at, blew my mind. This is from the Silly Symphony era. This is the Old Mill, one of my favorite, absolute favorite Disney shorts right here. That right there is a background that they would use. Early sketches here. They would talk about using the camera and the multiplane camera, like I'm showing you right here and zooming in. A lot of use in that. I love this because check it out. There's Walt right there, like the little statue of Walt. Now we're looking at some Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. There's a cell. There's a cell of the old hag. There's some sketches of the old hag. I love the Gothic style of this. I mean, look at that. stuff that will give you nightmares. I love it. There's a cell right there from the Evil Queen original cell and some sketches. Like I said earlier, the Gothic style, look at that, of Snow White was just far beyond its ears, if you will. There's the actress who portrayed Snow White and the voice. This is from The Tortoise and the Hare. Some more silly symphony. There's a cell there and a sketch of the tortoise. It was unreal to see this stuff. I mean, those are Three Little Pig models and Three Little Pig like drawings and a real big bad wolf cell. That kind of stuff just blew my mind being a Disney fan. Seeing this stuff, growing up with this stuff, to seeing the final product and then seeing how small and delicate and, this is it. I mean, that's what the animators used right there to create Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And it's cool to see like the process and everything. I mean, those are just, but someone thought of that. There's some cells right there of each individual dwarf. We also have a big one right here of Snow White. A lot of stuff for Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I do remember in this area there being a lot of film and audio and music. So it was a little difficult to get around that. Here's the Snow White bed, which I love the artwork and the style for this. It always reminds me of the Dark Ride, and the Dark Ride to me is just perfect at Disneyland. Snow White Scary Adventures was one of the best rides. Even the new version is really good too. This right here was the, I guess you could say, like invitation to Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs for the premiere. And there's photographs. That's what the booklet looked like. And you can see Walt and Lillian here to the left on the night of the premiere at the Carthay Circle. They have a lot of photographs from that evening as well as that invitation. This right here was so cool, the studio restaurant. I've been there before. Looking at the menu here, they had the Snow White special. I mean, they really went into theming even back in the day. But the one thing I really got a kick out of is if you go down to the bottom, they sold alcohol. So you could go and have a Miller's High Life with Walt if you wanted to, and some chili, and then go back to work. Here's some sketches from Bambi. Not a whole lot from Bambi, but it was really cool to see that. I always thought that was one of the prettiest animation that Walt ever did. And his animators, the backgrounds on Bambi are incredible. And this was so cool. Michael Eisner's favorite, Pinocchio. There's some sketches here from, Pinocchio and Jiminy Cricket and Geppetto. It was really cool to see that. What we're looking at now is from Fantasia, 3D models, backgrounds, and cells. As you can see, there's a lot of that in this museum, but that's what makes it so unique. You don't see this stuff in the parks. You rarely see any sketches or anything like that, especially real ones. So this was quite a treat here at the Walt Disney Family Museum to see this. There's some storyboards right there from Fantasia, and those animators would fill in all those little tiny spots and give a description to the left of them. And it's kind of hard to see on camera, but I knew exactly what it was showing. Now here's some clips of the multiplane camera. We've seen this 100 billion times at One Man's Dream, but they actually have the multiplane camera here at the Family Museum. When I was at the Walt Disney Museum, when I was at the Walt Disney Studios, out in Burbank, I saw this. This was in the lobby, and then they moved it here at the Walt Disney Family Museum. This is a bird's eye view looking down at the multiplane camera. We're looking at some stuff from the Disney studio on strike. One thing I do love about the Walt Disney Family Museum, they do not hide from their history and their past. They let you know how the Disney company really is, and I think it's great. Moving on to the end of the war, this room was very surprising, and you will see here in just a moment why. They're embracing Song of the South. I mean, I've never seen a Song of the South poster like that, let alone not in English, and that was absolutely incredible. Also, some press photos here from Song of the South. Look at that, Uncle Remus receiving his award from Ingrid Bergman. These are really cool photographs right here, So Dear to My Heart. It's like an official program. So Dear to My Heart sketch here. I just couldn't get over the Song of the South poster when I walked in. This whole room was breathtaking. A lot of Mary Blair art, a lot of different stuff. You kind of had to walk around and take a closer look, no pun intended, to see everything that's in this room. Now what we're looking at right here, These are some more sketches. This is from Cinderella. It was cool to see some Cinderella stuff and Alice in Wonderland. I really love Alice in Wonderland. I really love Mary Blair's like early sketches. Oh, these are live action photographs from Peter Pan. This is how the animators would get inspiration. They would watch this. They would watch these actors do this. There's some cells from Lady and the Tramp. They show a lot of early stuff from Mary Blair in here, some early sketch work and whatnot, and it's really cool. I do love Mary Blair stuff. There's some pirates from Peter Pan making their way across. This was so cool. There it is, the Nautilus, a 3D model of the Nautilus and one of the undersea cameras that they used in 20,000 Leagues from Under the Sea, one of my favorite live-action Disney classics. I do love that film a lot. Look at that. There's Walt. That's so cool. They're on the set of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. There's some Mary Blair artwork that I was talking about from Cinderella. A lot of animation stuff here. Sleepy Hollow, that was amazing. I was really hoping I could see something original from Sleepy Hollow, but there was nothing on display. They do change the stuff around, I heard, a lot. So maybe in the future I could see something from both Trick or Treat and Sleepy Hollow. I did, however, get to see something from Mr. Toad. So there is some sketches over here from Mr. Toad and some 3D figures. As you can see, that blew my mind. Anything Mr. Toad, Wind in the Willows, or Ichabod and Mr. Toad, any of that stuff, I'm totally into. Mr. Toad is so underrated. I love it. Look at that. Toad Hall, cell and background. This stuff was just priceless. I mean, honestly, priceless. To see all this stuff in person was just insane. Fun and fancy free. All these posters right here, those are not copies. Those are real. That's the thing that was so cool to see. You could walk up and see, like, you know, the paper, how old it is. And, you know, they take a really good, you know, care of it. This right here is what Walt wrote out to his caretaker at his house, his maid, if you will. It's everything that he liked to eat. He made a nice little easy list of meals and everything. There he is, feeding his, joking around with his dog. I know he liked Jell-O and he liked his chili. When I went to his private office at the Disney Studios, I was shown his private kitchen, and they showed me where he kept his chili and everything. It's true. Walt did enjoy his chili, but I loved the meal and the snack and desserts list he made. These are some skis that belong to Walt. There's the ski. Look, he looks like Goofy to me. Like, in the art of skiing, we have Walter Elias Disney here with his skis. That's what I thought the whole time I was looking at him. Like, he looks just like Goofy. But those are his skis. Look at that, the True Life Adventures logo in like 3D. The opening titles utilize this globe, and they photographed it. Slowly rotated within a circle compass. No way, that's the globe. And you can see right there it rotates. That is it. And so the lettering would be over it just like this. Wow. And as you walk through the True Life film exhibit, right across the way is Golden Gate Bridge. Have a seat. This bench right here was one of the several from Griffith Park. Right there. Walt always loved trains. Me too, Walt. And I did not realize when I walked into this room that I was going to see the Santa Fe, right? I was going to see the Carrollwood Pacific Railway right there. The original Lily Bell. The Carrollwood Pacific. That's the train right there that Walt rode around in his backyard. He would sit up front and he would take passengers all around in his backyard. That's so cool. The Carrollwood Pacific. There it is, all in its glory. I mean, it's big, but those guys back in the day, they were a lot tinier. There they are riding it. Look at that. I mean, his legs are hanging off and everything, but if he turned his legs around like he normally rode it, it was made to actually ride. This room here was so cool. Talked about early days of Disneyland proposals, maps, everything from the actual broadcast, which they call Black Sunday, because everything and anything that could have gone wrong that day went wrong. A lot of TVs over here showing Walt Disney Presents. Really, really cool. I enjoyed seeing a lot of this. There's Alice. That was from a Christmas episode they did. That's the girl who played Alice. Catherine is her name. Catherine Beaumont. That's her and Walt sitting. And it was just a really cool room. There it is, the pre-opening report of Disneyland. A lot of different stuff from the opening of Disneyland and clips. That's the camera that they stuck on top of the car. Yeah, the Circarama. That's the camera they stuck on top of the car right there. Isn't that cool? And they would go out and film their true life adventures. They had this full model, real working model, everything was working, of Disneyland. It was really cool to see Disneyland long before Big Thunder Mountain, long before Space Mountain, original Disneyland. That's a model right there of the Haunted Mansion. It almost looks like Walt and Lillian in that that's the Omnivore. And there's Walt holding the miniature model of the Mark Twain. Some posters up here, including Autopia, the monorail, and the People Mover. And down below is an original Autopia mobile designed by Imagineer Bob Gurr, who I've gotten the pleasure of meeting several times in the past. Here's some original Disneyland booklet. Here's some original Disneyland booklet. These booklets are what you would needed to get inside the park if you wanted to ride anything. You would initially pay your admission price to get in, and then you would buy these booklets, and that's what you would use each time you wanted to ride something. They had an A through E ticket, E being the highest ticket. Then we got into a room that was all about Mary Poppins and what went on with Mary Poppins. There is a P.L. Travers book signed to Walt Disney. How amazing is that? That's Walt's copy. There's Dick Van Dyke, some records here. Julie Andrews and Dick Van Dyke. A lot of different storyboards and sketches. So much to take in. So much to take in, everyone. So much to take in. Looking at these photographs again, I'm like, wow, blown away at the history here. Julie Andrews and Dick Van Dyke and Walt, they were good friends. Now we're moving on to the 64 World's Fair. All kinds of promotional stuff for the World's Fair here. Postcards, brochures. I mean, the World's Fair was everything that year. If you weren't there, you had FOMO. One thing I was really looking forward to is this area. Look at that. An original animatronic innards right there. They would use that for something like Lincoln. And then there's the sculpt of Lincoln's head. Some early photographs there of the original animatronic. I'm wondering if that's the animatronic that's in One Man's Dream. And I was really hoping this Barker bird would be working, but he was not working. This little tiki bird here. I really wish you were working, but as you can see, it was temporarily closed. I was hoping I would actually able to move him and control him just like Walt did. Here's some miniatures from It's a Small World. I believe these were all original Mary Blair. There's some sketches, photographs of It's a Small World. And here is the Carousel of Progress. Original models here from the 64 World's Fair. The original version of Carousel of Progress, not the version we have at Walt Disney World. There's Progress City. And there is Walt out at Florida talking about the Florida Project, My Home. The original sketch right there, copy. I wish they had the original sketch, but they do not have it out for display. A lot of stuff in here, a lot of hands-on things, a lot of cameras, a lot of demonstration on things. This is how they did Matted in live action. They showed you how they did it with the cameras here. Another one of cameras that belonged to Walt or the Disney Studio. It's just so cool to see the cameras. And this right here was so cool. There's the heart, the bronze hat. That was a joke that Lillian did for Walt. These are all Walt's things. It kind of made him feel more human to me, seeing this stuff. His cigar right there, his camera. I wonder what photographs, Walt took out of that camera there. I mean, he was a dad, he was a husband, he was a friend. He was a boss. There he is with Governor Hayden Burns and his brother Roy talking about the Florida Project. That one hit home when we were there. That was really cool. And then the next room was about his final days. Here's a bottom look of the multiplane camera that's located in the gift shop. And speaking of the gift shop, that's the last thing you see here on the tour. Got some t-shirts, got some hats, got some books, all kinds of stuff. I'm taking home this patch right here, Ink and Paint Department, Walt Disney Family Museum. That's going home with me. We also got some postcards for our Patreon supporters and the Secret Society Club. They have some trading pins, magnets, books. Gift shop is pretty impressive, I will say. Well, I'm getting out of here. Thank you so much for watching this. This was a headache, honestly, to edit and do, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next episode. Until then, stay weird, everyone. Goodbye.